all I'm happy for. I won money tonight.
Shakur, tell us something, bro. Like, what did you think about the decision?
I ain't gonna shit on him.
Okay.
We still gotta see each other. He say he wanna fight me, so we gonna fight.
But what do you think about the decision?
I thought Lamont won.
You thought Lamont won. Got you. I'll talk to you later.
You thought it was a fair decision?
Yeah, definitely, man. I thought they both put it out there. Roach definitely showed up and, did his thing. But Gervonta Davis is the champ, and it takes, a lot to be able to beat the champ. But Roach definitely had something that we all...
Please come up this way. We're going up right here. And cross.
Saw that maybe the opponent, Lamont Roach, actually got stronger moving up 5 pounds to 135 pounds. He was able to take Tank's shots without ever really being in any serious trouble.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Hey, Danny, what do you think about the fight, man? Was that a good decision?
Hey, Lamont came to fight. You can't take no credit away from him. I think Tank had a little off night a little bit. He was off a little bit tonight. But Lamont came to fight. You can't take none away from him. He earned that tonight.
Would you want a rematch and you think it'll go differently?
To win the fight, it was a close decision, but he did have Roach winning, and ultimately, in terms of himself, he thinks that if he were to get the rematch, he just wouldn't allow it to end in the judge's hands. Like, it wouldn't be a
And he's great counterpunchers, very high boxing IQ. He always says, I hit harder than people think. I hit harder than my record says. He stunned Tank several times. Tank looked like the guy with the heavier hands, but Lamont had the better chin. So it's all relative. So it doesn't, if Tank hits real hard, the guy can take it, doesn't really matter.
Little big bro coming out with the upset. A lot of people are going to pick Tank going into that fight, but how do you see that playing out?
I see my brother walking out victorious.
Eddie Hearn is stirring things up again, but this time, it's not just about hyping a fight. He's openly questioning whether Gervonta Tank Davis is still as dangerous as he used to be. According to Hearn, there's a small but real chance that Lamont Roach could pull off a major upset. But he made one thing crystal clear. Roach isn't the real challenge for Davis. That honor belongs to Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur Stevenson, and for me, Schofield, Zepeda, Tank. That's the plan for 2025. And if we were to do that, I think Shakur against Tank is one of the best fights in boxing. 2 unbelievable fights.
Fresh off a dominant performance against Josh Padley, Stevenson is making waves in the lightweight division. He'll be ringside when Davis takes on Roach at the Barclays Center, watching closely, waiting for his turn. Everyone knows Shakur has been calling for this fight, and he won't stop until it happens. But Hearn's recent comments raise some eyebrows. Tank might lose. I don't think he will, but it's possible because he's just gotten a little bored. That's not something you usually hear about a fighter at the top of his game.
He's had a lot of criticism, but it's not a bad fight. Lamont Roach is a world champion. He's smaller than Gervonta Davis. The problem is, not many people are aware of who he is or his ability, but he can fight. I don't think it's a huge fight, but...
This only fuels an ongoing debate. Is Gervonta Davis losing focus, or is this just another attempt to stir controversy before what most expect to be a knockout win? Hearn isn't afraid to point out the obvious. No one is really excited about a Davis vs. Roach fight. I don't know any other fight for Tank outside of Shakur. Who else is there? Hearn said. That's the uncomfortable truth Davis's critics have been repeating for years. His resume, while impressive, lacks defining fights against elite opponents in their prime. Sure, he's knocked out plenty of names, but when you start listing the top fighters at 135 pounds, the conversation quickly changes.
He's been receiving unfair criticism because of Lamont not being as known of a fighter as his past opponent.
Yeah, but it's not Tank's fault. You know, the guys with the so-called names, they turn Tank down, they price themselves out. And because people don't know Lamont, he's not.
The biggest names in the division, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko, have yet to face Davis. Meanwhile, Stevenson has his own problems to deal with. His hands, fragile as ever, took a beating against Padley. According to Hearn, there's no serious structural damage, no fractures, but there's still reason to be concerned. In an ideal world, he just had a relatively straightforward fight. I'd like him to fight in May, Hearn said. He needs a month or two to let his hands settle. The reality is that Stevenson's brittle hands could be the biggest obstacle in making the Davis fight happen. Time isn't on his side. He needs this fight before his body starts breaking down.
A terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, I mean, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter.
Meanwhile, Oscar De La Hoya has added his own twist to the conversation. He's giving Roach more credit than most, calling him a terrific fighter. But at the same time, he's making it clear, Roach is stepping into the ring with a monster. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, a beast, De La Hoya said. While he praised Roach's unpredictable combinations, the message was obvious. Davis's power is on another level.
For the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight, I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against the dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happened.
Roach, however, isn't backing down. He truly believes this could be the fight of the year, and he's speaking with the confidence of a man ready to shock the world. It's all about confidence, Roach said. It's about what you set out to do. It's about how hard you work. That's great, but confidence can only take you so far when you're facing one of the most dangerous punchers in boxing. Everyone remembers what happened to Ryan Garcia. He came out aggressive, landed a few shots, and then folded the moment Davis hit him clean. Roach insists he's different, that he won't break, mentally or physically. But we've heard that before.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look, he looked at night.
I'm telling you, you saying you.
What makes Roach interesting, though, is that he acknowledges something most fighters don't. Davis's opponents usually go into survival mode the moment they feel his power. I think the only guy who didn't was probably Pitbull Cruz, Roach said. And he's right. Cruz made the fight ugly, and while he still lost, he gave Davis more trouble than anyone else. That's Roach's plan. He believes he has both the mindset and the skills to do more than just survive.
Fight that really matters.
But let's be real, there's a reason so many people doubt him. Roach is moving up from 130 pounds while Davis is a proven killer at 135. The reality is, Roach might be walking into a fight he has little chance of winning. And if he just becomes another highlight reel knockout for Davis, then what's next? That's exactly what Hearn is getting at. I don't know any other fight for Tank outside of Shakur, he said. And that's why Stevenson will be there, watching and waiting. He wants the world to know that there's only one fight that truly matters.
Everybody else look at Lamont. Like, I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good fight.
No one's been able to solve Tank Davis. What do you need to do together with you and your team and obviously your son to score that victory?
We got a game plan. We're going to execute it, and we're going to get the results.
Move ahead, bob and weave.
That being said, Stevenson isn't completely dismissing Roach's chances. In fact, he thinks Roach might give Davis more trouble than most expect. I don't think it's going to be an easy night for Tank, Stevenson said. Lamont is coming ready to fight. He's known Roach for years, sparred with him, and believes he's got more to offer than people realize. He's a good fighter, Stevenson said. But let's be honest, if Roach were that much of a threat, Stevenson wouldn't already be thinking ahead to his own showdown with Davis.
Everyone thinks Tank Davis is walking through Lamont Roach this weekend, but what if I told you Roach has already given him problems? Twice.
They fought twice as amateurs, and both.
And then there's Terrence Crawford. When it comes to real threats for Davis, Crawford doesn't even consider Roach an option. In his mind, there are only two fighters who can truly test Tank, and Roach isn't one of them. Tank knows what's up, Crawford said. He knows what he's up against when he fights Shakur or Keyshawn Davis. That's as blunt as it gets. Crawford sees the fight game for what it is. Tank keeps facing guys who either lack the skills or the mental strength to go the distance with him. They might have a little skill here and there, Crawford said, but mentally they're not going to last the whole fight. And that's the key, isn't it? It's not just about talent. It's about having the mindset to go all 12 rounds with Davis, to take his best shots and keep pushing forward. Crawford believes only two fighters have that ability, Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis. And when the time comes, he's confident that one of them will hand Tank his first loss. So, what's really going to happen on fight night? Roach believes he has what it takes. Stevenson thinks it'll be competitive, but he's already looking ahead. Hearn is throwing shade, questioning whether Tank is even motivated anymore. And Crawford? He's keeping it simple. Roach isn't the real challenge. The fight that boxing truly needs is Davis versus Stevenson. If Davis does what most expect and dismantles Roach in brutal fashion, there will be no more excuses. What's your take? Drop a comment below and subscribe for more updates.